Hi, welcome to Happier Ladies. We're sisters who discuss all things related to work, family, and personal growth.
We draw inspiration from everywhere, especially from you, our listeners, to keep moving forward with joy and laughter and the big adventure that is life.
1 week at a time.
I'm Azizi Williams. I live and work in the LA area. I'm a mom of 2 adult children, and I'm an education professional in the independent school world. I'm here with my sister, Malika Amandi.
That's me. I'm a SoCal native living in Western Massachusetts, a mom of 2 littles, and I work in higher ed. In this episode, we share a meeting hack and then discuss a friendship strategy.
But first, I want to tell you about my sleep study, Malika.
Oh, that's right. How did it go? What did you do?
It was a whole thing. My doctor recommended that I do this to see if I have any issues with my sleep, and it's sort of related to some other medication that I'm thinking about. Anyway, I was like, okay, that sounds like fun. Let's
Oh, God.
see. So you start with an initial appointment with a sleep doctor, and then they help you choose which path you want to go. If you want to go into the facility and sleep overnight, or if you want to do a take-home sleep study. And I was like, if I have problems sleeping, I can't imagine being in a facility,
Right.
like hooked up to monitors. So I chose the at-home study option. I thought that would be best. And then I forgot about it and didn't follow up for a long time. And then I remembered and made my appointment. And so what you do is you go to the place at night, already in your pajamas at 8 p.m.
Oh,
And then you go in and they put the device on you. It's like a monitor that gets strapped to your chest like a seatbelt.
okay.
And they're like, don't touch it. Don't touch the machine on your chest. And then there's a tube that goes under your nose, like an air tube. And then there's the pulse oximeter thing that goes on your finger. On all of these things connect to that device. And so then you go home and go to sleep.
Did you drive yourself?
Yeah.
Did you wear the pulsometer while you drove?
I did take that off while I drove,
Okay.
and they said that was okay.
I have a question.
Okay. Yes, Malika? What's your question?
Did you put extra thought into your pajamas?
Well, yeah, because I had to drive in them. I did put a little extra thought. It wasn't like a matching set. It was more like,
Okay.
here's some sweatpants I can sleep in. You know, it was like that. And
Yeah.
a t-shirt.
Okay.
So I wanted it to be comfortable, obviously.
Right.
And also I had no idea what was going to happen. I was like, are they going to go under my shirt? But no,
Right.
it just goes right across the top.
Okay.
You know, they're like, are you comfortable? Okay, great. So then the idea is that you go to sleep in that. And then when you wake up, you can take it off. And they give you like a little box that everything goes into. So I did that. It was hard to go to sleep though.
Still.
Yeah, especially the thing that was on my finger. It felt a little tight.
Right.
But I guess I did sleep. And then in the morning, you put it in the box and then you drive it back to the facility and you drop it off. And then a few weeks later, I went and saw the sleep doctor who showed me my report. And he was like, well, you slept like 6 hours or something. I was like, wow, okay.
Was that more or less than you thought?
It was probably a little more than I thought because I was so uncomfortable. And then he showed me like the little notches. There's a graph that shows the kind of sleep that you're getting. And my diagnosis was mild sleep apnea. And it's like, well, I knew that
You probably knew that.
because I snored. And so he's like, you could get the CPAP machine, or there's this dental thing that you can get. There's surgery. I'm like, nah, I'm good.
What are you going to do? You're not going to do anything?
I don't think so. It's like,
Oh.
call me when it's like moderate to severe.
You're going to sleep on the data?
It's mild, you know? It's like,
But is it just going to get worse?
probably. But that's the thing. It's like, it's not going to treat it. It just is a thing that
Right.
helps you sleep better. None of
But
it
don't
is
you
like
want that
forever.
sleep? Knowing it's out there for you?
I am a very vain person, Malika. I can't
Okay.
imagine having a whole device that I have to now take care of. Ugh, I don't know.
Okay.
I'm gonna think about
Well,
it. I'll
I
think
guess
about
if
it.
you get to severe, maybe you'll think about it
Maybe in
more.
a couple years I'll go back, and then if it's worse,
Right.
then I will consider it, but I don't feel moved to get a special night guard designed for my teeth, like, so that your tongue doesn't fall back. It's like a whole thing that
Yeah.
you wear or
Daddy had one for a while.
and is he using it? I don't know.
No, he stopped using it.
I think that's probably what happens to most people.
Yeah.
Anyway, you should follow the medical advice of your professional. Do not take advice from me. This may be a terrible idea, but it's mild, you know?
What did the sleep doctor say to you? They were pretty neutral about it?
I mean, he was definitely excited about me choosing an option and probably thought I
Hmm.
might go with the CPAP machine. And then I said, I'm going to think about it. And he's like, "Yeah, okay."
He knows what
Yeah,
that
I think he
means.
knows what that means. I felt bad for him. I know he wants me to get the CPAP machine
I feel like you should get well, I would get it, and then if you don't use it, you don't use it, but then you have it.
just to have it.
If you, like, go through a week or something and you're feeling, like, tired all the time
Yeah.
or whatever, like, then you could use it. It seems like it makes a difference literally overnight.
All I could think about is like the noise and just the inconvenience of it, like feeling tethered. Uh,
Right.
It doesn't sound appealing to me right now. But look, I done my part and now I have a ticket to get one if I want to.
Right.
If something changes with my sleep, or, I'll talk to my primary care. And if they say, oh, you should do it, then I'll do it. But I am curious if any listeners do this. I
Weigh
could
in.
use a little more advice. Should I do it? Should I not do it? What are your thoughts about it? I feel like I'm not at that level yet.
Okay.
I was excited to get some advice about the sleep paralysis, and he's like, well, it's probably because of the sleep apnea. That's all.
There you go.
I
Well
don't know. It wasn't satisfying. I might do more research, but there you go. Sleep study done.
well, gold star for getting it
Thank
done.
you. That's all I wanted was a gold star for getting it done.
Gold
Thank
star.
you.
You got your
Check.
gold star.
Yay. Thank you. Yeah.
And now it's time for Speaking of Work, where we discuss observations about our professional lives. And Azizi, you have a process around making conversations visual.
I have recently discovered the power of making conversations visual to get unstuck in a meeting. So, I'm in meetings all day. I love meetings. I've said this before. Like, meetings are my favorite. And so I'm in the right job. Oftentimes when you're in a meeting, you're trying to problem solve or deal with abstract concepts or, try to figure out the right way forward. And I've taken to trying to document the conversation in these moments so that we can figure out how to move forward together. And
Hmm.
it has really been powerful. I've been surprised by the power of taking this step. And what I do is for having a conversation and there's a lot of silence or there's a pause or, there's this question. Usually there's a question that we can't figure out how to move forward with. Then I will get big sticky paper. I just keep a pad of those big Post-its in my office and I have
Mm-hmm.
the smelly markers, the ones that smell good, or, a big Sharpie, and then I'll just start writing it out. What is it that we're dealing with? And again, I've been really impressed by how this helps us move the conversation forward, just that act.
Hmm.
So I have a few thoughts about making conversations visual during a meeting. Malika, I thought we could discuss them.
Okay. Works well with abstract concepts.
I have found that this process works well when there's a fuzzy timeline, like when we're not quite sure what the cadence of something should be, or trying to grapple with how we've done it before versus how we should do it moving forward. So that's one way that it's helpful. Also, just answering a process question. How should we do this thing in a different way? Or there's this complicated topic that we have to cover. Maybe it's related to admissions, or maybe it's related to communications. How should we communicate X, or which cadence should we do it? And just writing out everything that we know about that thing and everyone seeing it together kind of helps to make it clear how to move forward.
Are you just writing down words?
Yeah, so that's a good question.
How are you making it visual?
It's just words. It's not actual
Okay.
drawings yet.
Okay.
So usually it's like writing the question on the page and then writing what we know about it or
Okay.
ideas or suggestions about possible ways to do it. It's just helpful to lay it out in a linear way with a
Got it.
chart or a graph. They're not actual pictures yet.
Okay. And the relationship to the words on the page to each other, like, are you writing things in a circle or just in a big list or kind of wherever they
It depends. Yeah. So that's where it can be different. There could be two different things on two different pages. It could be a list. It could be something laid out by the months of the year. Maybe it's a Kanban board situation, like
Mhm.
done, doing, to do. So it depends on what it is that we're trying to uncover.
Okay. So another point you have, it requires some vulnerability.
So no one volunteers to do this. I always just
Hmm.
find myself saying, this is a moment where we should map this out. And doing so means that you can't worry about it looking pretty or looking nice or knowing exactly where it's going. You just have to get started. And so
Hmm.
that's the important part is to not worry about it, how it looks, or being self conscious about your charts, graphs, tables, squigglies, whatever, and just getting something up there is the most important thing.
And when you do it, do you then pass the marker around or you pretty much just do it the whole time?
Mostly I'm just doing it. Occasionally someone will get up if they have an idea and they have a specific way they want to document it. But
Okay.
I'm mostly like sort of repeating back and then adding it to the thing. And maybe it's because these meetings typically happen in my office.
Mhm.
Maybe that has something to do with it, but it's clear everyone can participate. But because I've initiated it, I usually take the responsibility for it.
Okay. Assumptions are surfaced.
So I find, for example, we were working with a guest speaker who was going to come and do a series of talks with the students. And I had a version of the cadence of the talks, and my colleague had a version of the cadence. And when we described it to each other, it wasn't quite right. And so that was an example of when I said, okay, let's pause for a minute. Let's just write it out. This is what I'm seeing. And then she said, "Oh, I'm seeing it differently." But it wasn't until we
Hmm.
actually got it out there that we could literally be on the same page and understand how we were thinking about this differently. It made it easier. Clarity was gained when we mapped it out on a page
Hmm.
visually.
That makes sense.
Right? This is not rocket science. I understand that. And yet it doesn't happen. And I feel like we
Yeah.
stay in that abstract and the act of moving it to concrete and forcing it to go on a page in a certain way, then you're drawing a line, and people are
Yeah.
either getting it or they had a different way of seeing it. And so that comes to light because oftentimes people will disagree or say yes, even when they didn't really understand, or later it becomes clear that, oh, we had two different ideas about what this was going to be. But when it's on a page, that's much less likely to happen when you're looking at it together.
I think it's easy that I have this value as well. You and me are both kind of clarity seekers.
Yes.
We want to know what the thing looks like. We want the concrete version. And for a lot of people, it's okay that everyone's on a different page, I think. Or it's not okay. I think most people value clarity when it's offered, but it doesn't bother everybody when there's no clarity.
Right. You're right.
It's like being, clutter blind or something like that. It's just
Yeah.
a lot of people don't notice that something's not clear. I think it's a service to kind of raise that and move people to clarity. If it's, for a productive purpose, you're working together on a project, shared vision. But it's interesting because I feel like I kind of have that impetus a lot in my work with others, and I'm not the person in charge.
Right.
I waffle between whether or not I should do this or not. I haven't like just put up a sticky note ever. But I have tried to introduce a Padlet board before to kind
Okay.
of do something similar.
A virtual version.
Yeah, it's interesting to hear you talk about it because I think we have the same impulse around this kind of situation.
And it's interesting because I want to be efficient and I want to make
Yes.
sure that we're using our time well and that we're all headed in the right, not right, but same direction.
Yeah.
So the purpose of writing it down as we're talking about it is not to make it go the way that I want it to go. It's just to clearly understand what are
Yeah.
all of our ideas about this. I think you're right. And that probably goes along with, why we ask questions and are willing to name things. I think that's probably right. And because I am in charge, it is easy for me to, I
Yeah.
can insist on this process. And, talking about it out loud makes me think about how can I make sure that it's clear that anyone can grab the marker, right?
Mhm.
And go.
Mhm.
And I think I do that, but I want to really make sure. And this is different than coming in with an agenda, which is
Mhm.
necessary, right? I create a lot of agendas for meetings also. And that means that I have done the thinking outside and then I bring it into the meeting. And then, that's a one way for people to interrogate it. But oftentimes in the conversation, we're trying to work through something in the meeting. And so
Mhm.
this is where visuals are helpful.
All right. Your next point is to continue the conversation.
Sometimes we're in the middle of it and we didn't finish. And so it's helpful to take a
Mm.
picture because that's documenting where we ended up. And I cannot tell you how often we come back to a meeting. What did we
Mhm.
decide or what did we think? And when you actually have either the actual poster or the picture of it, it's a shortcut and you can jump right back to where you left off. And also, it just is helpful to revisit when you're then executing to make
Yeah.
sure, wait, is this headed in the direction that we brainstormed that it should? So I will roll up the sticky notes and put a rubber band around it and like stick it under my desk. And I have actually retrieved it months later and opened it up.
That's
Sometimes you
neat.
think you're never going to look at that again, but occasionally it is actually helpful.
That makes me think of, like, part of this, it's also kind of an accountability device. You're probably not just writing action items or anything, but you're kind of committing to whatever you agreed upon that's on the paper, the common understanding. It's like if you bring it out again, it's kind of reminding everybody, this is what we all said. Like, this was where we were 4 months ago. And so, not that things couldn't have changed, but
It's more like, "Oh, where are we in this process now? This is the path that we laid out together, and now it's a few months later. Let's revisit it to remind ourselves of where we wanted to go." So you could recalibrate or reset and then move forward. Obviously, like action items then need to be documented in a different way, and everyone needs to clearly understand what their role is in it. But when we're trying to co-create something, this
mhm,
process helps us make that easier, and you could do this on a Google Doc where everybody is
mhm,
typing, but it's a different thing to be able to circle things and make a web or quickly list different things. I find that it's much more flexible to actually just draw a picture
yeah,
in a conversation.
interesting. Okay.
Are you taking notes?
No, I'm thinking of, there was a company that I worked for a while that there was a lot of resistance to kind of doing this type of
Yeah,
documentation, and I think a lot of it was that things shifted so much, and it wasn't a positive culture
right.
of, like, building on things. It was kind of like, "Let's rebuild the ship every time," kind
Mm,
of, which was a real conflict for me just in my whole working style, but it's interesting thinking of, like, well, that was, like, a little bit of a red flag that, like, people didn't want me to take notes
right.
and send them out, or, like, nobody
Like it
wanted the
never happened.
documentation. I was always trying to find a way to do that, and it was never, some people did, but ultimately, I don't work there anymore,
Yeah.
and but there's a certain culture that this reflects in
Mm.
terms of wanting to be in
Mhm.
process and being comfortable with being in process, and then also being comfortable with, like, "Okay, we are drawing the line. This is what we do, and this is what we don't do," or
Mhm.
whatever the situation is, and I think not every organization has that culture.
I think it also reflects that we try new things,
Mhm,
and if you are at a place that is always doing the same thing the same way, this is not a need. But
mhm,
because I'm at a place where we have to try new things or we wanna be responsive or, we're having different conversations, then we need to make sure we're on the same page. This has been necessary, and I didn't do it for the first few years of this job,
right,
right? So this is new, and there is a vulnerability in just being the one doing it. It
mhm.
does take some willingness to be messy, literally.
So what are your next steps?
I was having a conversation with our tech person about something else. We were talking about our smart boards, which are these devices in the classroom. It's like a digital whiteboard that you can also
Hmm.
connect to your computer, and it's a touch screen. They're really fancy, and most of the classrooms have one. And the tech person was like, "Oh, we have this extra one that no one is using." And
Hmm.
I was like, "Really?" I got so excited. Like, can it fit in my office? It might be obnoxious, but at the same time, it could be really cool. And then we wouldn't need the posters. I could use it as a whiteboard, take a picture of it that way. I
Hmm.
don't know. I'm curious about this. I want to play around with it and see. So that's one thing I want to do. I took a workshop a long time ago about personal note taking and making it visual. And they recommended the sketch note handbook, which we may have talked about before. I don't remember. But I didn't really go anywhere with it. But now I'm inspired to pick that up again and to see how I can add drawing. Like, where can drawings be more helpful? And so in the sketch notes books, they show you how to like just quickly make some basic kinds of drawings. So I want to try that. And I want to try to expand the visuals of my own note taking. How can I incorporate more drawing and, expand my own personal note taking?
Very exciting.
Yes, thank you. I'm a visual person also. I really want to see a thing. And there's something about creating it together versus coming
Hmm.
with something that's fully formed.
Hmm. Well, let us know if you use any kind of visual note taking. We'd love to hear about it.
Yeah.
You can send us a note at happierladies@gmail.com. Let's take a break. And when we come back, we will share a shortcut to happy.
This is Andrew Huberman, host of the Huberman Lab podcast. I'm excited to share that the performance eyewear company Roka and I have teamed up to create a pair of red lens glasses. These are meant to be worn in the evening after the sun goes down. They filter out short wavelength light that comes from screens and from LED lights, which are the two most common indoor lights nowadays. I want to emphasize that these are not traditional blue blockers. Yes, they filter out blue light, but they also filter out all the other wavelengths of light that can suppress your melatonin and other hormones, which can degrade your sleep. By wearing these glasses in the evening, I find it much easier to wind down at night, and it makes the transition into sleep greatly improved. If you would like to try these red lens wind down glasses, simply go to roka.com, that's ROKA.com, and enter the code Huberman to save 20% off your first order. Again, that's ROKA.com and enter the code Huberman at checkout.
Instagram teen accounts have automatic protections for what teens see and who can contact them, plus time management tools. And Instagram will continue adding built-in safety features to help create age-appropriate experiences. Learn more about teen accounts and Instagram's ongoing work to protect teens online at instagram.com/teen accounts.
We're back with Shortcut to Happy, where we share a simple strategy that will make you happier. Today, we're talking about notice your friendships.
And friendships is spelled Fringe
Oh,
ships.
friendships.
Like the
Okay,
fringe on the
got it.
fringe. Okay, so I went to a talk with the author Allison Pugh, who was a sociologist, and she recently wrote a book called The Last Human Job, The Work of Connecting in a Disconnected World. I haven't read the book, but the talk was very interesting about, in this age of AI, what are the things that really only people can do and that people have to do more of now, or we need more of because things are so disconnected. But in her talk, she shared about this concept called friendships.
What is a friendship?
So a friendship is a connection in your life that is kind of somewhere between an acquaintance and a friend. It's not quite a friend level, but it's somewhere in the zone. It's not a total stranger. These are people who you know from a single setting. So it could be your coworkers, could be friendships. They're people that you interact with, you spend time with, and you don't have overlap in any other area of your life. It is somebody that you gel with, but that's it. There's not like an expectation that you're going to start hanging out outside of the context that you're in. And I mean, Gretchen has talked about similar types of people on the periphery, the people that you just see every day. Like those are all kind of can be friendships. You know, if you're a regular at a coffee shop, the barista that you interact with, you have a little chit chat and then that's it. So these kind of all go into the friendship category.
What are the benefits?
So what research has found is that this kind of type of relationship does a lot to kind of reduce loneliness and increase your sense of belonging in a community or in a place. Friendships can also kind of make new situations less intimidating or like big groups. So, you know, I was learning about this in the context of a university, and they talked about classmates can be friendships. You know, the group of people who sit in the same area of the lecture hall with you. You don't necessarily know every other class they're taking, but you kind of always see them there, and you probably would notice if they weren't there. That these people are all actually playing a role in helping you feel connected and like you belong in a place.
That's interesting. I mean, and this is not a part of that example, but that reminds me of like your hairdresser or something, like someone who you would see reliably, but never anywhere else.
Right. Totally.
Right. Yeah. Interesting.
And it's interesting. They said that often people will, to varying degrees, like you think about who you go deep with in conversations, you know, or sharing parts of your life. And you might assume that you would only do that with a close friend. But actually, somebody might reveal something deeper to someone in a friendship or like a hairdresser, right? That there is a certain kind of safety in those connections that might surprise you.
Well, the boundaries are very well defined in terms of where you're going to see them or how you're going to see them in this very controlled way. That's interesting. So what's the difference between a friendship? It's very hard to say.
Sorry.
Friendship and a friendship.
So one of the biggest differences is that it's less work to maintain because there's not very much work at all. Friendships, we should have a different word for this.
Just call it the fringe.
Friends, regular friends.
Oh, regular friends and friendship. Okay.
Okay. So regular friends, you know, it takes a lot of work to make friends as an adult. We've talked about that before. And there's something like hundreds of hours that go into creating a friendship that feels like a deep friend. And obviously there's a lot of benefits from having close friends too, but there can be downside if you feel like you're not being a good friend, right? There's some fallout if you're not meeting expectations or if you don't have time for somebody. You know, there's just more required of you, which I think we can objectively all say that's not bad. And we need those relationships in our life.
Right.
And it's worth investing in friends.
Yes.
And this is a different type of social connection that has a lot of the benefits to reduce loneliness without the
work.
Without the work, literally. So one of the qualities of a friendship is like this person you will not invite to your house or expect them to take care of you when you're sick. Even just that line of like, oh, I'm never going to invite this person to my house. Whereas with a friend, a certain level of friend, you kind of expect to go to each other's homes at some point. Or it's not out of the ordinary if you get invited, you know?
That's so interesting. So that's like a good litmus for, is this a friend or a fringe? A regular friend or a fringe? Would I invite them to my house? And would I ask them to like pick me up from the airport? Does that count?
Yes, pick me up from the airport.
Or friendship. We have our love list and then we have our friendship list.
Right.
Interesting. And so how do you go about forming a friendship?
So I took some notes I found an article in Psychology Today that talks about friendships. So these are some suggestions they have. Friendships are really formed when you're out in the world. So out in person doing things and just going to the same places at the same time. For example, if you're trying yoga, try going to the same class every week and then put your mat in the same place.
Mm-hmm.
And like, you're going to start to see the same people there and start a conversation with somebody that you like the look of, basically.
Or don't. You don't have to like the look of them physically.
I mean, just
start a
pick
conversation.
someone,
Just
or
pick
you
someone
like
and
their energy
talk
or
to
whatever.
someone.
Start a conversation related to that activity.
Right.
So if it's, you're at the dog park, do you know other dog parks in this area or something? Like, keep it related to what's going on where you are, and compliments are always good. Your dog is so cute. Where did you get them? Or something, or how old are they? And then I thought this was interesting. It's like, leave it at that. Like, it doesn't have to go to other topics. It can just be about that thing. And then if and when you see them again, pick up that same conversation. So it doesn't have to go deep. It's just like consistent.
Consistency. So you
Yeah.
have to go do things, and then
Right.
you do them again.
Yes.
The same, and then again at the same place. You just go to the place again and again, and then you will inevitably see the same people, and friendships will develop.
Yes.
Fascinating.
I think one of the things I thought was really freeing about this information is that I think, especially maybe with some of my coworkers or like some parents, in the daycare community, like, sometimes I feel like, am I not doing enough? Should I be moving these things forward or going deeper with these people? I like them, but I don't have time. And like, this is telling me, great, just let it stay where it is. You're
Right.
getting a benefit from these connections, and they don't necessarily need to move forward or graduate to some level,
Right.
And that's okay. There's nothing wrong about that. And I think it's helpful to acknowledge, like, yeah, these people do make me feel like I belong here, that I know them, and it's okay that it's not, you can only have so many really close friends.
This is true. And it just, by naming it, it makes you more aware of it.
Yeah.
And then you can invest even a little bit in it,
Right.
because you know that it's adding value and it's increasing your happiness to see that person again. And I think that knowing this now will help me look out for these opportunities and for me to understand, what
Mm-hmm.
the value that either I'm playing, like I could be somebody's friendship,
Mm-hmm.
like the value that I'm playing by being in that place. I'm thinking about my Orange Theory class now, and there are only a handful of people who are at the front desk, and they know me by name.
Right.
So I can just go a step further and get to know them because I'm going to see them in that context over and over again. And it's also making me think about the Huntington. In the cafeteria that I like to work in, there's a bar, and the bartenders are the same, but I don't ever get a drink. So I don't say hello, but maybe I should.
Say hello.
Say hello and like get a mocktail or something. Not that I have to take them drinking, but maybe I could. Just going to the bar and then having a conversation and then sitting back down and finishing my work seems
Right.
like worth it.
Yeah. And I think you don't have to know their names necessarily, is what I'm understanding from this. Like, even if you just interacted with them each time you saw them, that's enough.
Yeah.
That's plenty. Not that there's anything wrong with getting to know their names, but that could be a barrier, for somebody. Right. But just acknowledging, oh, I see these people each time and they're friendly and we exchange a few words,
I love that. Thank you for sharing this.
Yes. So notice your friendships. Fringe. Maybe I'm just saying the word friendships.
Friendships.
Yes. Yes.
I will definitely be looking out for my friendships. Let's take a break. And when we come back, we'll do peaks and valleys.
Raise the sails! Raise the sails!
Captain, an unidentified ship is approaching. Over.
Roger. Wait, is that an Enterprise sales solution?
Reach sales professionals, not professional sailors. With LinkedIn ads, you can target the right people by industry, job title, and more. Start converting your B2B audience today. Spend $250 on your first campaign and get a free $250 credit for the next one. Get started today at linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply.
We're back with peaks and valleys because in life, there are always peaks and there are always valleys. This is an odd episode, so Malika is up first with a peak.
All right. So my peak is that I may have mentioned this before, but it's really true now that I am in the fan fiction realm with Heated Rivalry now.
Oh boy.
I've gone through all of
Oh my
the
gosh.
public official content from the author of the books.
In like 2 weeks.
I mean, I don't know where the time is coming from. And now I'm into this fan fiction universe, and man, it's overwhelming in the most exciting way because there's just so much content and some of it is really great. I'm not sifting through on my own, so that's part of it. I have 2 people giving me recommendations of things that they like, so that's
There are people in this rabbit hole with you.
totally, and it's just like I just get so much joy from these characters and even imagining them in these different scenarios. Anyway, and I figured out how to, because fan fiction, it's like on this website, it's kind of a portal, the one that I'm looking at, and it can be really long, so you don't want to read it on your phone, but there's a way that you can download it and then put it on your Kindle. And that it's like just like reading a book.
Wow.
And that has made me very happy. I also just want to plug that we're doing a slow watch of Heated Rivalry on our Substack. If you would like to watch the show and just have a fun thing to watch after to kind of download everything that happened, slow watch with us.
Even if you don't want to watch the show, maybe you just want to hear our take on it. Our take is completely safe for work, by the way. So you can watch it at work or wherever. It's fun going down this rabbit hole also with Malika.
I've dragged you in.
You really have. And I'm just waiting for you to start writing your own fan fiction.
I don't think I have that in me. Like, I am a consumer in this realm.
Okay.
You know, I don't want to make it up.
Have you ever read fan fiction before this?
Never. Never.
You have the identity of a person who reads fan fiction.
I do. I never did.
That's wild.
It's very funny. I mean, I guess that's like an exciting development about myself.
Right. Yes. You have discovered a world that you can't get enough of.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Who would have thought
Who would have thought?
that this was what happened to me in 2026?
It's not going to happen to me. I'm going to read the books and then I will be done.
Okay.
Fan fiction, just the idea of it, I can't. It boggles my mind. I can't. But I like this for you. I'm happy for you about it.
Thank you. You can join our Substack at happierladies.substack.com. Azizi, what's your valley?
I have a repeat valley. This is one that maybe comes up once a year. I have dental appointments that I should be making that I'm not making. I have a cavity. I can feel it. They told me 2 months ago I have a cavity.
Oh.
And I cannot, obviously it's not bothering me that much yet, but waiting is not going to make it better. You know,
No.
I can't figure out when I'm going to take care of this and some other things. And not only that, but I got a notice that Sinai has not had a dental appointment in 8 months. I'm like, wait,
Your child.
my child. And it's interesting because they're adults now. Am I still making their dental appointments? How long am I doing that for? I don't know. Someone tell me.
How long did mommy and daddy make your dental appointments?
I mean, when I went to college, I was done.
Okay.
That was different though. That's not the kind of dynamic I have with my kids, right? So I left, like I was gone when I went to college. I did not really come back for a long time.
I would say the question is, do you want to keep making these appointments for them?
How long did mommy and daddy make your dental appointments?
I had a lot of dental work done in high school. I think by my senior year of high school, I was making my own appointments.
Really?
Because there were just so many.
Wow.
I had to kind of keep track. And
what happened to you?
I don't know. I had a bunch of cavities and I had to have a root canal. And
oh, wow. Oh, that's serious.
the receptionist, like we had our
Yes.
own.
Oh, I remember. I remember that.
Yeah. Had a direct line to each other. So.
Okay. Well, maybe it's time for me to hand over the reins. This is inspiring me too.
I think they're capable.
Oh, I know they are. I know they are, but it's just like what I've always done. Parenting adult children.
Until you have it for 6 months.
But it's complicated because they're not here.
Right.
I have good excuses. And also, maybe that's not my job anymore. I don't know. Unclear.
Yeah. Well, definitely make them for yourself.
I will. This is why I'm saying it out loud.
Yeah.
Even if it's not in the next week or 2 weeks because I'm so busy, but I need to put it on the books. Also, I don't like the dentist, so that
Well,
makes it hard to do also.
You're not alone there.
Right. I need to try some of your strategies. You were like, bring a blanket and AirPods and other things.
Yeah. Well, that brings us to the end. Azizi, let's leave on a happier thought. What are you going to try this week?
I'm going to try to dig into my sketch notes book and maybe there's one drawing I can incorporate more. Focus on one drawing. What about you, Malika?
Well, I liked your conversation about that. And I have a whiteboard in my office.
Oh.
I use it for like to-do lists, but I think I'm going to try using it to like map something out.
There you go. Use your things.
Yes. Thank you for listening to this episode. You can find our show notes in the episode description. If you like us, please rate, review, and tell a friend. And don't forget to follow us.
Send us a message at happierladies@gmail.com.
Our show was edited by Magnus Bjorgum, and our theme music was created by Wyatt Muncie.
You can find us on Instagram and YouTube at Happier Ladies and at happierladies.substack.com. All right, Malika, have a happier week.
Have a happier week, Azizi. Bye.
Bye. Hello?
Yes.
What happened?
Are you going to ask the question?
Oh, sorry. I was so into it. I was like, oh, what's this about?
This podcast is part of the Sound Advice FM network. Sound Advice FM, women's voices amplified.